to you?
I think kind of being a young girl anyway, all us women, we're quite vain. I'm from Essex, originally East London, so we've always been a little bit glam. Even obviously before coming into kind of reality TV, I was very much about hair, tan, teeth, nails from a young age. I was going to gym at 15. So yeah, that's my area as well. It's not just the show, but that obviously highlights it a lot more.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
You were in Towie for a long. You were one of the originals. Actually.
Yeah.
You were in there for a long time, and you've grown up in the spotlight. You're still very much in the spotlight.
Yeah.
With millions of followers and
Yeah.
social media platforms. Do you feel the pressure to always look perfect?
No. Do you know what's really funny? As I've got older, you just don't care as much as you did. You do, but I'll run around now with no makeup on. I'll put my tracksuit on. When I was younger, about 17, I would not go to the shop without full face makeup on. But that comes with age. And that was kind of before the show. So I've kind of matured into myself. But again, when I do run out of no makeup on, I'm paranoid. Because you're like, oh my God, who's anyone looking at me? People taking pictures. So even though I've grown up with it and I will do it, and it's kind of matured with it, it still is a little bit of a pressure and that insecurity.
And things like social media, Instagram, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that adds to the pressure now for young people, teenagers especially, and it just
So
making
bad.
the problem worse?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've got my niece who's now 11. She's on Instagram, pouting these videos. She knows more than I do about technology, and I'm like, this is freaky. Phones weren't even around when I was her age. Do you know what I mean? It was like you met up with your friends, you rang the house phone, you went to the park, and that was it. Now it's all much about social media, Snapchat, Instagram, all the platforms to kind of film where you are, and you kind of forget your surroundings and what you're doing. It's very much about post it for the gram. And what I've noticed, a lot of people will go away, they take pictures, they hold them back, and they post them a week later. It's like, well, you're not even there. This is like a staged photo. It's not real. So that's why you've got to be quite wise. There's a very thin line to what is real and what's not real. It is, you know, in a weird way, it's an amazing thing that's been invented. It's powerful. There's a lot of, you know, kind of positive, good things with it that you can do work-wise, platforms, contacting people, and it is beautiful memories as well, but at the same time it's a very big downfall where you're wrapped up in this fakeness and it's to be perfect that no one's ever going to be, you know, and it's kind of like obsessive. So, you know, it's like it's a hit and miss situation in the world that we're in, and we have no control over it.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
And obviously you're not on Towie anymore, but shows like Towie, Love Island, Jersey Shore, those sort of TV programs, do you think that, and I know you're on it, and it's a big part of your life, but do you think shows like that make the problem pressure worse?
Definitely in my area, I've watched it change over the years. You've got a lot of people that kind of have moved to the area now. Essex is massive, but it's like Chigwell, Bucksteel, Loughton, Brentwood, that have kind of come around that way that never used to be around that way. The young girls now, I'm not joking, they're like 14, they've got hair down here, their Louis Vuitton bag, they're walking down the high road. Like, I thought my school was bad, but it's worse. It's getting worse. It's all about designer. No, I have to have that because it's got to fit in with this. And okay, we're all a little bit guilty of it, but I try not to go into that too much and promote it too much. Like, I'm quite lazy on my Instagram compared to others. They're on point and they're like constantly promoting their clothes and what they've got. I'm not up to that date, like with everything, but I try to be. But at the same time, I try to keep level head with it and not get too wrapped up in it, because there's, you know, such more to life that we're missing out on.
Completely.
I'm like a preacher.
And if you don't want to answer, it's absolutely
No, it's fine.
But you've
enhanced stuff. And
yeah, that's what I was going to talk to you about. And you openly would talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me a bit about what you had done?
No, it's fine.
And why you chose to do it?
Yeah. With me, I think they like to pinpoint surgery, make it into a bigger deal than what it is. I had my first operation on my nose, which was because of an accident I'd had previously, just before I started Towie. and I still can't breathe properly for it. It's got a sinus problem, so it was a little bit more medical than it was cosmetic. I was going to get it done at hospital anyway, and then I decided to go private. I openly spoke about it, being a little bit naive then. I think I was like 23, 24, so, and then it kind of, that was one tick, like the press loved it, but they kind of twisted it, which is fine. What else did I do? I had my boobs done in 2014, so that I was like 26 then, so a little bit after. Didn't really need it done, but I did. Paid for it. It wasn't one of them promo things. But that was kind of there was something that, you know, I was going through whatever at the time, and I kind of like wanted to do that. So I asked my boyfriend, he was like, yeah, why not? Everyone was like, I can't believe you haven't done yet. I was like one of the majority that hadn't had them done. So I kind of did. And then I had sculpting, which was more recent, which was around the middle, which doesn't last. As you know, I do a lot of training, and I will definitely do it again, but it doesn't last. It's like kind of, it's meant to sculpt your body. It's a little bit like a vaser lipo, and I went abroad to have that done, and that is it.
And you've done it obviously to make yourself feel better, because it's stuff that you want to do. And people, you know, people who follow you and celebrities on Instagram, what would you say to those who would love to look like that but can't afford to?
Of course. Yeah. Well, I've been there. I was once young and looking up at everyone else and kind of things, but you kind of just, it doesn't change you. It's kind of enhancing or adapting to who you are, really. But if you really want something that bad, you do it, and like, you know, it's not about affording it or not affording it. You can do it, but there's, like I said, anything I've done at first medical, boobs, okay, it didn't really change me that much, you know what I mean? It did, but it didn't. So don't think like, oh my God, I want to get this done to look like that, because it doesn't really change who you are and what you look like that much anyway. So kind of just keep it real for as long as you can, and get to a certain age where you think about it quite sensibly. Because I was, again, I think 23, 24 when I first had anything done. So that wasn't like I was 16, 18. I know girls that had it done when they were 17, and that's not something I'd advise, because you change anyway, and you've got your opinions are different on things. But I don't really feel I look that much different anyway. I've just kind of grown up.
And you openly, I think it was a few years ago, talked about your like body battles almost.
Yeah.
Now you've had a few things done, and you're happy with yourself. Are you happy with what you look like?
I don't think I've ever really changed. I've done kind of jobs in the past I shouldn't have done. Things are a little bit twisted sometimes for media. Things are kind of said, pictures are a little bit enhanced to make a issue look bigger deal to sell a product. That isn't great in this industry, and it's not something that I, you know, want to jump from the rooftop and be like, oh my God. But really, ideally, it's kind of like diet and training is the best thing mentally and physically for you. And I feel like we're growing up into women, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. We're all different shapes and sizes, but I am comfortable in my own skin. I'm not going to say that's it, I'm never going to get it done again, because I might do, but it doesn't mean because I've got an issue with who I am. It's just because at that time I might be like, oh, I fancy doing this now, or it's really strange. I don't think people are addicted to getting things done. I think they're addicted to the buzz. It's really weird, and it's like they feel a little bit better for it. It's like buying a new pair of shoes. In a weird way, it sounds really bad. Like, people get addicted to going to the gym. People are addicted to, I don't know, like, there's a balance with anything. People go out and love drinking. People love going to the gym, like, you know, but it's just a balance in life of everything. Don't obsess over it, and I think when they write about it or talk about it, it's made into a bigger deal than what it is. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And just pick up on something recently.
Yeah.
I'm nearly done.
That's right.
You have been accused of photoshopping your pictures. I mean, what would you say to people about that?
I don't know how to Photoshop, because I think that's something that you have to do on a computer. Like, magazines do that for like majority of the models. We all have apps on our phone. Like, I think there's 360. There's one called Lightroom, Facetune. Again, that's why I was so. I think Marnie actually did the photo. I think we were a little bit drunk, and we was like, oh, but it's Instagram, it's not real, and that's why I posted before and after to see that it's not much of a big deal. You know, things like have been darkened, brought in a little bit, but I post a lot of videos now because you can't edit a video or Photoshop. It's just an app on an iPhone. We don't sit at the computer, so I upload there and then when I'm out, and I do a lot of Snapchats to kind of see. But again, everybody on Instagram, especially professional bloggers and influencers, edit their photos. Please understand and believe that, because that's why it makes it more glossy. And again, I'm quite behind on that, and I need to get on it a little bit more, because I feel like my Instagram's a bit bland and it doesn't look as glamorous as everyone else's, so I'm a bit bad on it. That's probably why I'm not a professional Photoshopper. Maybe I need to learn.
Well, that's told them.
That's told them, yes.
And just lastly, I mean, do you think the pressure for young people and actually older people is going to get worse? Like, there's so much focus on now what people look like, having the right hair or the right shape, and there's just so much about body confidence. I mean, do you think it's just going to get worse? I
think a lot of it stems from the media. I haven't really seen much of The Jungle, but I think the girl Emily from In-Betweeners is getting a lot of stick from the Mail, or should I say online journalists, about her image, and it's sad. And it's actually them who creates this, and then when anyone gets anything done, oh my God, she's addicted to surgery. Well, maybe you created that, and that's what they don't ever seem to reflect on themselves. You can't seem to win or lose with it, you know. It's like, so what? We are all different. Like, we're different body shapes. Like, everyone looks different. It's not really fair. You can't really pinpoint somebody for what they look like, what colour hair they've got, what colour skin they've got, what body type. It's all the same umbrella, and at the same time, but they're the ones that stem it, and they create that, and then you get something done or change it, and they're like, oh, she's gone too far now. And it's like, well, what do you want us to do? So
what would you say to people who say, well, actually, you're giving these people false interpretations of what is?
I just completely disagree. I don't think so at all. I think they do. I feel like everyone loves, and I love, Victoria's Secret models, but what is that real then? Because that's okay, because you're never going to have anyone else a little bit curvier, which is fine, because I think they're amazing. But what is right then? How can we win? Because how am I giving them a false impression when they're not? It's not fair. It's not one way.